Before the war, my village was full of laughter. We lived like one big family, Hutu, Tutsi, it didn't matter. We shared everything: food, stories, sorrows. Children played together under the mango trees, chasing each other barefoot through the dust, their laughter echoing from house to house. There was no hatred, no bitterness, no lines drawn between us and them. Neighbors helped each other build homes and harvest crops. During weddings or funerals, the whole village came together, dressed in bright cloth, singing and crying as one. My mother used to say, "A peaceful heart makes a full stomach," and back then, we were full, even if we were poor. But that peace didn't break on its own. It was poisoned, slowly, quietly. Whispers became warnings. Warnings turned into fear. Fear became anger. And one morning, we woke up strangers to each other.
As I continue the story, please subscribe to A Lady Story World, like and comment.
My name is Gisa. I am 19. I was born in the village of Nyundo. Before the war, I used to herd cows with my little brother, Mugenzi. We would swim in the river Rwankeri and climb the tall guava trees behind Mama's house. We were poor, but we laughed every day. That was before Papa disappeared, before the whispers about the Tutsi started.
Blood was warm on my hands. Sticky. The kind that clung to your skin long after the act was done. I didn't even know the name of the boy I had just struck. Maybe he was 12, maybe younger. He had hidden behind his mother's legs, his eyes wide like a goat at slaughter. I told myself I had no choice. But when I looked down at the journal in my lap, my hands trembled. They said we had to do it. That the Tutsi were cockroaches. That they were plotting to kill us, to take over our land, our homes, even our women. I believed them, or I wanted to, because believing made it easier. Tonight, the stars refused to shine. The air smells like smoke and iron. Around me, the other men drink banana beer and laugh. They brag about the bodies, about who killed more. My friend Kamari says he sliced open a woman's belly and watched her baby fall out. They laughed. I didn't. I just sat and wrote. My commander, Bosco, watches me with his sharp eyes. He says I write too much and killed too little. He told me yesterday, "Gisa, if you don't grow a killer's heart, you'll die like a coward." He held a panga to my throat just to prove his point. I nodded. I smiled. I lied. Tomorrow, they say we march to Murambi. There are many hiding there. Children, women, old men. I pray the ink in this journal lasts longer than the blood on my hands. I pray someone, someday, reads this and knows that I was not always a monster. I was just a boy. We reached Murambi at first light. Fog blanketed the hills, as if trying to hide the horror waiting beneath. We moved like ghosts, machetes in hand, led by Bosco's loud voice and louder gun. There was a school up the hill where hundreds had gathered. They thought it was safe. The priests had told them it was. The soldiers promised protection. But it was all a trap. I walked beside Kamari. His shirt was stained red. He smelled like dried sweat and meat left out in the sun. He grinned at me. "This is our work," he said. "We clean the land, just like they told us." I nodded, but my stomach turned. In the distance, I saw a woman holding a baby wrapped in colorful cloth. Her eyes met mine. She didn't run. She didn't scream. She just stared, like she knew something I didn't. Bosco ordered us to surround the school. "No one leaves," he said. "No one." We waited. Then, the shooting started. Screams, footsteps, doors crashing, people running, tripping, falling. Kamari and I were sent around the back to stop anyone from escaping. A boy, maybe the same age as Mugenzi, darted out. Kamari swung his panga. Blood sprayed the grass. The boy fell. I froze. Kamari turned to me. "Gisa, finish him." I looked down. The boy was still breathing. His eyes, so full of pain, so full of life. I raised my blade. My hand shook. Then Bosco was there. "Do it, or I'll do you instead." I closed my eyes. Swung. When I opened them, the boy was gone. Not just dead, gone. Like the wind had carried him away. But my hands were red. My shirt soaked. My soul, empty. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing the boy whispering my name. Over and over. I wrote his name in the journal. I didn't know it, so I gave him mine. Gisa. We slept in the hills near Murambi. The fire crackled low, barely warming us. Kamari was snoring. Others mumbled in their sleep. Bosco paced with his rifle, whispering to himself. I couldn't close my eyes. Earlier, I saw an old woman crawl from the ruins of the school. Her legs were soaked in blood. She had a rosary wrapped around her fingers. She looked at me like I was the devil. I wanted to run, to throw down my weapon and scream. But I just turned away. Why do they call us heroes? I keep hearing Mama's voice in my head, telling me stories under the mango tree. Her soft hands brushing the dust from my cheeks. If she saw me now, what would she say? Before we left Nyundo, I saw Mugenzi hiding behind the goat pen. He had heard Bosco recruiting boys. He was crying. Don't go, Gisa, he begged. Please, don't go. Quote, but I had to. I thought I was protecting him. Now I'm the one he needs protection from. Bosco sat beside me tonight. He handed me dried meat and a flask of banana beer. His hands were steady, clean. Like he hadn't killed a soul. You think too much, he said. You keep writing in that thing like it'll save you. But nothing will. Only strength. You understand? I nodded again. You did good today. Tomorrow we head to Bisacero. More rats hiding there. You'll get another chance to prove your loyalty. He smiled. That smile made my blood go cold. I waited until he walked away. Then pulled out my journal and wrote the one truth I still had. I am scared. Scared of what I've become. Scared of what I might still do. The road to Bisacero was narrow, winding through fields of green that once felt like home. I remember walking these hills with Papa, carrying baskets of cassava. Now, my boots crushed bones hidden beneath the grass. We passed empty villages. Silence followed us like a shadow. Sometimes we saw the remains of families left where they had fallen, some holding each other. Others curled in corners like they were trying to disappear. Kamari found a pair of earrings on the ground. He laughed, dangling them before my face. Maybe I'll give them to a girl when this is all over. He joked. I didn't laugh. We reached a valley where survivors had built shelters of leaves and mud. Bosco ordered us to surround them again. He called it, the net, no escape. But this time, they fought back. A man with fire in his eyes charged at Bosco with a spear made from a sharpened stick. I swear, he almost reached him. But a gunshot silenced him. The man fell, his body twisting like a snake. Suddenly, I was in the middle of chaos. Screaming, running, fighting. I raised my blade at a girl no older than my sister Amina. Her hair was full of dust. Her feet bare. She stared at me, like she knew I wouldn't do it. I didn't. I shoved her aside and yelled at her to run. She froze, then took off into the bushes. Kamari saw. His smile faded. Later, he grabbed my shirt. What are you doing, Gisa? Are you one of them now? I said nothing. He pushed me hard. You better choose, brother. Because out here, mercy will get you killed. I waited until he walked away, then sat behind a tree and cried for the first time since this began. Not for the girl, for myself, because I didn't know who I was anymore. That night, it rained. Cold drops washed some of the blood from my boots, but not from my hands. It felt like the sky was trying to clean us, to undo what we had done. But rain can't wash away ghosts. Kamari stayed away from me. He joked with the others, but his eyes kept darting my way. Like I was a cracked pot, useless, dangerous. Bosco called a meeting under a large fig tree. The moon glowed white above us. He stood on a rock, his voice sharp and proud. We are the sword of Rwanda. He shouted. We are chosen to cleanse our land. Some cheered. Some raised their weapons high. I lowered mine. He looked at me. Gisa, step forward. My heart froze. I obeyed. There's a traitor among us, he said. One of our men helped a girl escape today. Gasps. I didn't breathe. Bosco paced in front of me. I don't believe it was Gisa. He said, eyeing the others. But if I find out who it was, I will skin him alive. He smiled that cold smile again. Sleep well, brothers. Later, Kamari whispered to me in the dark. You were lucky. One day, your luck will run out. I didn't answer. Instead, I pulled out the journal, hands shaking, and wrote, Today, I saw what courage looks like. It's not killing, it's choosing not to. I don't know if the girl made it. I hope she did. Because if someone like her survives, maybe there's still hope. Even for someone like me. We moved again at dawn. Bosco said we were heading toward Karongi, where more cockroaches were hiding in the churches. That word, cockroach, buzzed in my head like a curse. That's how they trained us to think. Like these people were not people. Like they were insects we could crush underfoot. But I remember my teacher, Madam Naira Habimana. She was Tutsi. She taught me how to read. She once gave me a pencil when I had none. She smelled like shea butter and talked with kindness in her eyes. Was she a cockroach too? Kamari walked beside me, chewing on sugarcane. He had tied a piece of cloth around his wrist. Red, blood red. Gisa, he said, I ever tell you about the man I saw hiding in a water tank? He was shaking so hard, he rattled the whole thing. I just dropped a grenade in. Quiet after that. He laughed like he had told a joke. I forced a smile. When we reached Karongi, there was a smell in the air. Not smoke. Something worse. Decay. Death had camped here. We found the church gates open. Inside, bodies. Everywhere. Some were piled in corners, others slumped over pews. I saw a child's doll near the altar. Its face was cracked. Too late, Bosco muttered. Another group must have cleaned this place. But then a sound, crying. Behind the pulpit, we found a boy and a girl, huddled together. Alive. Bosco raised his gun. No. I shouted before I could stop myself. Everyone turned. Bosco narrowed his eyes. What? I swallowed. We could question them. Maybe they know where the others went. A long pause. Then he lowered the gun. Fine, we'll take them. As they were dragged away, the girl looked at me. Her eyes weren't full of fear. They were full of hate. And I couldn't blame her. We camped in the churchyard. Bosco tied the boy and girl to a tree. They were maybe 10 or 11. Kamari suggested we use them as bait. Say we'd spare them if the others came out of hiding. Bosco liked the idea. That night, I couldn't eat. I kept looking at the girl. She was staring into the darkness, lips moving like she was praying. The boy had fallen asleep, his head on her shoulder. I imagined that was Mugenzi and Amina, my brother and sister, and I was the monster at their door. Bosco passed around bottles of banana beer. The men laughed, sang, told stories of their glory, but I stayed apart. I opened my journal, using the stump as a table. That's when I heard footsteps. It was the girl. She had gotten free. She didn't run. She walked up to me. Her little arms were trembling. She held out something small. A necklace. A wooden cross. She whispered, for your soul. I didn't understand. Why? Because you didn't kill us. I stared at the cross. I wanted to cry. Suddenly, Kamari shouted, she's loose. The girl turned and ran. Kamari raised his machete, and I moved, faster than I've ever moved. I tackled Kamari to the ground. The blade missed. She vanished into the night. Kamari punched me hard. What are you doing? Bosco ran over, gun raised. I stood up, breathing hard. She got away. Where's the boy? Bosco snapped. Still tied. Still sleeping. Bosco stared at me, hard. Then he said, you've got a soft spot, Gisa. And soft things rot fast. He walked away. Kamari stayed behind, rubbing his jaw. You better pray I never see her again. He hissed. I didn't answer. I just opened the journal. And for the first time, I wrote a prayer. Not for me, for her. Morning came, but it brought no warmth. We buried the boy behind the church. He had died in the night. No wounds. Just gone. Like his heart had finally given up. Bosco didn't care. He spat on the ground and said, one less to feed. Kamari was quiet too. He hadn't spoken to me since last night. He just kept sharpening his panga, back and forth like he was grinding his rage into the blade. We moved toward Rubengera, where they said more survivors had gathered. On the road, we passed a small banana farm. A goat stood tied to a post, bleeding weakly. I wanted to untie it, free it, but I didn't. I couldn't even free myself. As we walked, we came across another group, young men in muddy uniforms like ours. But they had no leader, just a boy about my age who called himself Mambo. He wore sunglasses, even though the sky was overcast. Bosco liked him immediately. "Join us," he said. "We'll clean Rwanda together." Mambo smiled, showing white teeth. We already started. He led us to a clearing. There, in a pit, were bodies, fresh. Dozens. Women with babies tied to their backs. The smell hit me like a slap. Kamari whistled. "You've been busy." Mambo grinned. "We work fast." But as I stared into the pit, I noticed something. A woman's hand still twitching. Still alive. Before I could speak, Mambo raised a jerry can. He poured petrol into the hole. "No," I whispered. "Too late." He struck a match. Flames roared. I fell to my knees. The others cheered. I was the only one who wept. That night, Mambo told stories by the fire. About how he used to sell peanuts at the market. How the Hutu power men found him. Gave him a gun. A reason to fight. "They gave me a name," he said. "Now everyone fears Mambo." He raised his arms like a hero in a play. The others laughed and clapped. But I kept my eyes on the flame. I couldn't stop smelling the burning flesh. Seeing the woman's fingers twitch. Kamari sat next to me. He didn't look angry anymore. Just tired. "Do you even know why we're doing this?" I asked him softly. He didn't answer right away. Then he said, "Because if we don't, they'll do it to us." "Who told you that?" "My uncle. He said the Tutsi poisoned our well once. That they laughed when Papa died." "But did you see it happen?" He looked away. "I don't have to." I didn't argue. I just opened my journal and wrote, "Fear is a fire. And we are the dry wood." Bosco came to us later. He was drunk. "Tomorrow," he slurred, "we take the hills. Sweep them clean." He looked at me, eyes bloodshot. "Gisa, I want you to lead the front." My throat tightened. "Why me?" "Because you still think," he said. "You kill better when you think." He laughed and walked away. I sat there, hands shaking, heart pounding. Mambo was sharpening his blade. Kamari had closed his eyes. And I sat in the middle of them, wondering if I'd ever find my way out of this nightmare. Wondering if I even deserved to. The hills of Rwanda were green, peaceful. Birds sang in the trees. It looked nothing like a place of war. But war had left its footprints here. Smoke curled above the trees. We found the first group hiding under banana leaves. A mother and two boys. Kamari pulled them out roughly. The mother cried, begging in Kinyarwanda. "Please, they are just children. Please." Bosco turned to me. "Your lead, Gisa." I hesitated. Kamari grinned. "Let's see if you really belong with us." I looked at the two boys. One had a gap between his front teeth, just like Mugenzi. He was crying so hard he couldn't breathe. My hand moved to my panga. But I dropped it. "I can't," I said. Silence. Bosco's face darkened. "What did you say?" I said, "I can't." He raised his rifle and pointed it at the woman. "You kill them, or she dies." I stepped back. My legs were shaking. "Choose, Gisa," Kamari said, "or you'll be next." I couldn't breathe. The hills spun around me. And then, Mambo laughed. "Let the boy be," he said. "He's soft. That's his weakness." Bosco stared at me for a long moment, then slowly lowered his gun. "Fine. Kamari, take care of it." Before I could stop him, Kamari stepped forward. The mother screamed. I turned away. I didn't write that night. I just sat in the dark, hugging my knees, my face buried in my arms. When I finally opened my journal, I didn't write what happened. I drew a grave, then another, and another, until the page was full of them. That night, I dreamed of home. Mama was cooking sweet potatoes in the clay pot. Mugenzi was chasing a chicken around the compound. Papa sat under the avocado tree, singing, "Peace, warmth, the smell of home." Then the sky darkened, and the ground opened, and they all fell in. I woke up screaming. Kamari threw a rock at me. "Quiet, fool. You want to bring the ghosts?" I looked around. Everyone was asleep again. Everyone except Mambo. He sat across the fire, watching me. "Bad dreams?" he asked. I nodded. "I used to have them too," he said. "Now? I don't sleep." He poked the fire with a stick. "You think too much," he continued. "Thinking makes you weak. Just do what you're told. It's easier." I didn't reply. He leaned closer. "But I see something in you, Gisa. You don't belong here." I met his eyes. "Then why am I still here?" He smiled. "Because it's too late." He stood and walked away. But his words stayed with me. Too late, is it? When everyone slept, I got up and walked behind the trees. I found the journal hidden in my shirt. I opened to a clean page. I wrote, "If I can't leave the fire, maybe I can carry water. Maybe I can save one. Just one. Even if it means losing myself." The next day, I saw her. A girl no older than 14, barefoot, her legs scratched from running through thorny bushes. She was hiding behind a collapsed hut in the outskirts of Rwanda. Her face was caked in dust, her hair matted. But her eyes were wide and sharp, full of something I hadn't seen in days. Hope. I was alone. I had wandered away from the others, pretending to scout for more survivors. When I spotted her, I froze. She stared at me, trembling. A dead silence stretched between us. "Please," she whispered, barely audible. Her voice sounded like Mugenzi's when he used to cry after nightmares. I looked around. No one. She took a step back, ready to run. "Stop," I said, softly. "Don't run." She didn't stop. She bolted into the forest. And I followed. Not to kill her, but to protect her. I caught up after a while. She had fallen near a stream, panting, her ankle twisted. She tried to crawl away, but I raised my hands. "I won't hurt you." She didn't believe me. I pulled my water flask and set it down near her, then stepped back. She reached for it with shaking fingers. "My name is Gisa," I said. She didn't respond. "What's your name?" "Interahamwe," she said at last. "My father was a teacher. They killed him in front of me." Silence. "I want to help you," I said. She stared. "Why?" I didn't know how to answer. "Because you're still alive? Because I can't take one more grave? Because I need to save something before I disappear completely?" I whispered, because I remember what it means to be human. She didn't trust me. Not yet. But she didn't run. That was enough. I hid Interahamwe in a hollow tree near the stream. Covered the entrance with dry branches and leaves. Gave her what little cassava I had left from my ration pack. "Stay here," I told her. "Don't move until I come back." She looked at me with those piercing eyes again. "You're one of them. Why should I believe you?" I knelt beside her. "Because I don't want to be one of them anymore." Her lips tightened. "They always say that, before they kill." I nodded. "Then wait. If I come back tomorrow, you'll know." She didn't respond. I left her there and returned to camp before nightfall. Kamari was roasting a monkey leg over the fire. He laughed when he saw me. "Where were you?" "Pissing," I said. He tossed me a burnt piece. I pretended to chew it, my stomach churning. Bosco was quiet that evening. He was reading a paper from the capital. He didn't share what it said. But I saw the word, Belgium, in the heading. Mambo noticed it too. Later that night, he cornered me near the latrine trench. "You're hiding something," he said. I tried to stay calm. "What do you mean? You go off alone. You act strange, like you're not really with us." I shrugged. "I'm tired." He leaned in. "Don't lie to me, Gisa. I like you, but I won't cover for you." I didn't sleep that night. Every leaf sounded like footsteps. Every crack in the fire reminded me of a rifle cocking. But still, when the first light came, I crept away again, back to the stream. Back to the tree. And when I peeled away the branches, I saw her. Still breathing. Still waiting. Interahamwe's face was thinner than before. Her lips cracked. Her eyes dull from hunger. But she was alive. I handed her a small piece of dried banana and half a sweet potato I'd stolen from Kamari's pack. She took it without speaking. We sat in silence. The stream gurgled softly beside us, the only sound of peace in this broken world. After a long while, she said, "Why are you helping me?" "I don't know anymore," I replied truthfully. "Maybe because I still remember the boy I used to be." She stared at me, chewing slowly. "What boy?" "The one who played soccer with his brother using a plastic bottle. The one who ran barefoot through guava trees. The one who cried when his father died." Interahamwe looked down. "I miss my father too," she whispered. "He used to sing to me at night." We were quiet again. "Do you think the world will ever be normal again?" she asked. "I don't know," I said. "But I think it will only happen if people like you survive." Her eyes met mine. I wanted to protect that small flicker of hope in her eyes. Even if it cost me everything. But I knew I couldn't hide her forever. Someone would find out. As I walked back to camp that day, I told myself I needed a plan. A way to get her to safety. Maybe I could lead her toward the hills of Gishwati where I heard some Tutsi were hiding. maybe even join her. But when I reached the camp, something was wrong. Mambo was waiting, alone, arms folded. "You were gone again," he said. "I told you." He raised a hand. "Bosco's looking for you. And if you're hiding something, Gisa, now is the time to confess. Before someone else does." The ground under me felt like it might crack open. Bosco summoned me to his tent before sunset. The air inside was thick with sweat and smoke. He was cleaning his rifle, slowly, like he had all the time in the world. A candle flickered between us. "Sit," he said without looking up. I sat. "You've been wandering off a lot." He began. "Kamari says you disappear for hours." I scout. "For who? The rebels?" "No. For food. For survivors." "Survivors," he repeated slowly. "Interesting word choice." I said nothing. He looked up. His eyes were hard stones. "I know you, Gisa. You're not like the others. You think too much. Write too much. You hesitate." He stood, rifle still in hand. "I've seen men like you before. Men who break." He stepped closer. I could smell the banana beer on his breath. "I want you to prove something to me," he said. "Tomorrow, we go to Karongi. There's word of a church sheltering Tutsi. You'll go with Kamari. No hesitation. No mercy." I opened my mouth to speak. He raised the rifle and pointed it at my chest. "And if I hear you've been hiding anyone, if I even smelled out on you, Gisa, I'll bury you myself." I nodded, but my heart was screaming. That night, I wrote in my journal with shaking hands. "If they kill me, let it be for something good. Let it be for something true." I didn't sleep. At dawn, I crept away again, toward the stream. Nairahabiniza was awake, eyes alert. "They suspect me," I said. She didn't flinch. "I need to get you out of here. Far from this place." She looked at me, her voice soft but steady. "Then let's run. Now." We ran before the sun fully rose. Through the dense forest, branches scratching our faces. The earth slippery beneath our feet. My heart beat so loud I thought the whole world could hear it. Nairahabiniza kept up, though she limped. Her twisted ankle hadn't healed. But fear made her fast. Stronger than she looked. I knew the road to Gishwati was dangerous. The hills were crawling with patrols and checkpoints. But I had heard whispers. There were still survivors hiding deep in the forest, protected by terrain too rough for trucks and guns. We couldn't go back. Every bird call made us freeze. Every snapped twig made me reach for the panga strapped to my back. Around midday, we reached a rocky ledge and crouched behind tall grass. We could see the valley below, smoke rising from burning homes, scattered bodies lying still under the sun. "Is that?" Nairahabiniza asked, her voice barely a breath. "Yes," I said, "that's Karongi. I was supposed to be there. With Kamari. With Bosco. Killing." We climbed down the ridge slowly, careful not to draw attention. We drank from a stream and shared a small bundle of roasted cassava I had tucked in my waistband. It was hardly enough, but hunger had become a normal pain. That night, we found shelter in an old banana plantation. I built a nest of dry leaves and told her to sleep while I kept watch. She stared at me. "Why do you care if I live?" I didn't answer right away. Finally, I said, "Because if you live, then maybe I can still be something better than what I've become." Quote. She closed her eyes. But I didn't sleep. Because in the dark, I could hear the drums. War drums. And footsteps. They were coming. By dawn, the sky turned gray, heavy with rain. The first drops fell as we crept from the plantation. We moved quickly now, mud squelching underfoot, our clothes soaked. We were less than a day from the Gishwati forest, but danger was growing. In the distance, we heard gunfire. A convoy had arrived in Karongi. More soldiers. More death. As we climbed the last hill, I saw something that made my blood go cold. A familiar face. Kamari. He was at the base of the hill, standing by a checkpoint with two others. They were laughing, passing around a bottle, machetes resting on their shoulders. He hadn't seen us yet. Nairahabiniza gripped my arm. "That's your friend?" "Yes." "Will he kill us?" I swallowed. "Yes." Without blinking, we ducked low and crawled through tall elephant grass. Every step felt like walking on broken glass. If they spotted us. A sudden rustle. Nairahabiniza's foot caught on a root. She fell with a cry. Kamari turned. "Hey," he shouted. Gunshots rang out. We ran, through thorns, through mud. I didn't feel the cuts, just the heat of bullets slicing past. We dove into a ravine, hidden beneath vines and wet moss. Kamari's voice echoed above us. "Gisa, I saw you." My heart pounded. He knew. Everything was falling apart. I turned to Naira Habiniza, panting. "We keep moving. We don't stop." She was crying now. Silent tears. But she nodded. Somewhere inside, I felt something shift. Not just fear. Rage. Rage at the lies. Rage at myself. Rage that I'd ever thought killing made me strong. We were almost to Gishwati. But now, we weren't just running to safety. We were running towards something more. A fight. We reached the edge of Gishwati just as night fell. The forest was thick and wild. Trees rising like giants above us. Mist clung to the leaves, and the air was cold and damp. Every shadow moved. Every bird call made us flinch. But we were safe, for now. We crawled into a hollow under a fallen tree, hidden by roots and vines. I was exhausted. Every part of me ached. My feet were blistered. My throat burned. Naira Habiniza curled beside me, shivering. I took off my shirt and wrapped it around her shoulders. She didn't speak. Neither did I. We just listened to the forest breathe. In the distance, hyenas laughed. I opened my journal and wrote in the dark, tracing the letters by memory. We are ghosts now. Shadows. But we are still alive. I didn't sleep. Not really. My dreams were loud, filled with screams, fire, and Bosco's voice telling me to cut deeper, faster, like it was a game. When morning came, it brought silence. The kind of silence that feels too heavy. I stepped out to find food, berries, roots, anything. Then I saw them. 2 children, no older than 10, crouched by a stream. Tutsi. Their faces were thin, eyes hollow. They saw me and froze. One of them grabbed a rock. "It's okay," I said, holding up my hands. "I'm not going to hurt you." They didn't move. I took out the last of my dried cassava and placed it on a flat stone between us. Then I backed away. They took it slowly, still watching me. Naira Habiniza appeared behind me. She saw the children and her eyes softened. "We're not the only ones," she whispered. We weren't. We had found the beginning of something. Survivors. A hidden world inside the forest. Hope. But hope is dangerous. Because it makes you believe there's something left to lose. By the 3rd day in Gishwati, we were no longer alone. The children had led us deeper into the forest, where we found a small group, maybe 20 people, hiding under woven leaf shelters and drinking from a mountain spring. A man named Kamanzi led them. His eyes were sharp, his voice low and calm. He had once been a teacher, he said. Now he was just trying to keep the last pieces of his world alive. They welcomed us, but they didn't trust me. "You have soldier's eyes," Kamanzi told me that night. "And the hands of a killer." He wasn't wrong. Naira Habiniza sat close to me, her hand brushing mine. "He saved me," she said softly. Kamanzi didn't blink. "Then let's see if he can save others too." He handed me a knife. Not a panga, a small blade meant for hunting. "There's a boy in the group. His fever is rising. If you want to help, find wild ginger root and honey." So I did. I searched for hours, slipped in mud, got stung by bees, cut my foot on a sharp stone. But I returned with what they needed, and they let me stay. That night, I sat beside the fire, watching the children sleep. Kamanzi sat next to me, quietly. "You can't run from what you've done, Gisa," he said, "but you can choose what you do next." I didn't answer. I just stared into the flames and thought of Kamari, of Bosco, of what would happen if they found us here. Then I made a decision. "I want to fight," I whispered. "Not to kill, but to protect." Quote. Kamanzi nodded once. The next morning, he gave me a bow. Not a gun. Not a blade. A bow, like in the old stories. I tied my journal to my belt. And for the first time, I felt like something more than a monster. I felt like a boy trying to become a man again. We trained in silence. Kamanzi showed me how to hold the bow, how to listen to the wind, how to feel the breath of the forest. He said if you want to live, you must learn to be quiet, not just outside, but inside your heart. The children watched me. Some smiled, others didn't. I couldn't blame them. They saw the machete scars on my arms, the pain in my eyes. But I kept going. Every day, we hunted for food. We set traps. We gathered herbs. I shared my journal with the older ones, let them see my drawings, the maps I sketched from memory. It became a way to speak without words. One night, Interahamwe found me sitting by the spring, the moonlight on my face. "You're changing," she said. "Maybe," I said, "but the past doesn't let go." She took my hand. Then we hold on to each other instead. Quote, I wanted to hug her. But I didn't. Not yet. That night, I dreamed of Mama. She was walking through smoke, calling my name. Behind her, Papa stood with Mugenzi on his shoulders, waving. I woke up with tears on my cheeks. And gunshots in the distance. Bosco was coming. We didn't wait. At sunrise, Kamanzi gathered us around the fire. They're sweeping the forest. Not just militias, soldiers too. If they find us, they'll finish what they started. Panic rippled through the group. What do we do? Someone asked. Kamanzi looked at me. You've seen their minds. You know how they move. What do you think? My mouth was dry. We can't run. Not all of us. The children, the sick, they won't survive. We need to distract them. Send them the wrong way. A plan formed slowly. We would split. Kamanzi would lead the group deeper into the caves north of the ridge. I would take 2 others and leave tracks, broken branches, smoke, bits of cloth. Lead them south. I'll go with him, Interahamwe said. No, I said too quickly. It's too dangerous. She stared at me. Then you shouldn't go either. We argued in whispers until Kamanzi stepped between us. He needs someone he trusts. He said, she goes. We left before noon. The forest felt heavier. Every twig that snapped made us freeze. Every crow that cawed made us duck. I left my journal behind, with Kamanzi. Give it to Mugenzi, I told him. If he's alive. If you don't come back, Kamanzi said, I'll make sure someone remembers. I nodded. Then we disappeared into the trees. Carrying fake trails and real fear. As we moved, Interahamwe reached for my hand. I didn't pull away. If this was the end, I wanted her beside me. And if it wasn't, then maybe, just maybe, there was still a future waiting in the smoke. By the second day of leaving trails, we moved carefully, dragging old shoes behind us to mimic many feet. Dropping burnt cloth tied with thorn branches. I dipped banana leaves in charcoal and smeared it on bark to mimic the soot from cooking fires. Everything we did was meant to trick Bosco. To pull him away from the others. But still, I could feel him getting closer. Interahamwe walked beside me, quiet, focused. We didn't talk much, only when we had to. The forest was listening, watching. In the afternoon, we heard them. Voices. Rough, angry voices. They were close. Too close. We climbed into the trees and hid among the branches. I held my breath. My heart pounded like a drum in my chest. I saw them pass below, 5 of them. One had a radio. Another dragged a boy no older than 9, tied with rope and limping. Bosco wasn't among them, but Kamari was. His face was thinner now. His eyes hollow, mad like a dog gone wild. He laughed at nothing as he walked, swinging his panga like a toy. I stared, frozen. Kamari stopped, looked up. Interahamwe reached for her bow. I grabbed her wrist. No, I whispered. Not now. Quote. Kamari's eyes swept over the trees, then moved on. We waited until the voices faded. When we climbed down, Interahamwe looked at me. That boy they had, we could have. They would have killed us all, I said. We can't save everyone. She didn't speak after that. I wrote in the dirt with a stick. This forest eats guilt. And still, it grows inside me. That night, it rained hard. We found a shallow cave and crawled inside. The air was wet and heavy. Water dripped from the ceiling. The firewood we carried was soaked. We huddled together for warmth, our backs against the stone. I took out the old pages I'd torn from my journal before we left Kamanzi. I used a piece of charcoal to write by firelight. Interahamwe watched. You still write, she whispered. It's the only way I remember I'm still human. She was quiet, then said, tell me something true. I looked at her. I killed a boy, I said. I gave him my name in the journal because I didn't know his. He looked like my brother. She nodded, eyes shining. I saw my uncle burn in his own house. They locked the doors from the outside. Silence filled the cave. Then she reached into her bag and pulled out a small beaded bracelet. Red and white. I made this when I was 8. My mama used to say red is the color of danger, and white is the color of hope. I wore it when we ran. I don't know why I still have it. She tied it around my wrist. I don't want to forget either, she said. We sat in the dark, listening to the storm, sharing pain like it was bread. In the morning, we found footprints near our hiding place. Fresh. They had followed us. We were the hunted now. But we were also no longer running alone. We were fighting for each other. We didn't stop running until our legs gave out. By noon, the forest had changed. The trees grew thinner, and the ground was rocky and dry. We were far from the caves now, too far to turn back. Interahamwe leaned against a tree, panting. Her face was pale. We have to lose them, she said. Before they catch us. I looked at the bracelet on my wrist. Red and white. Danger and hope. I think I know how. I remembered a gorge not far from where Kamanzi had once taken us to gather honey. Steep cliffs. A narrow path. If we crossed it, we could trap anyone who followed. We moved fast, using every shortcut I could remember from childhood hunts. By evening, we reached the edge. The gorge was deeper than I remembered, jagged rocks below, a broken log bridge barely holding. One wrong step and you'd fall. Interahamwe looked at me. This is your plan? It's all we've got. We crossed one by one. Every creak of the wood sounded like a scream. I went last, then used my machete to slice halfway through the log, leaving it weak. If they tried to follow, it would break under their weight. That night, we hid in the bushes nearby, waiting, and just before dawn, they came. Kamari was leading 3 others. Laughing again. Still mad. He stepped on the log first. The wood cracked. Stop, one of them shouted. Too late. The log split. Kamari grabbed the edge, screaming as he dangled. I saw his eyes, wild, begging, terrified. He looked up at me. Gisa, help me. I didn't move. He lost his grip. Silence. Then the sound of breaking bone. The others ran. Interahamwe didn't speak. Neither did I. But inside me, something cracked too. Not just the log. Something deeper. We walked for hours, not saying a word. When we finally reached a clearing, Interahamwe collapsed beside a termite mound and began to cry, not loud. Not wild. Just quiet sobs, like her chest couldn't hold it in anymore. I sat next to her and watched the sun rise. She wiped her face. Do you think that makes us killers? We were already killers, I said. But that doesn't mean we stop fighting to be more. She looked at me like she wanted to believe it. I pulled out the last piece of paper I had left. Wrote, I let him fall. I did not save him. And maybe that makes me a murderer again. But in that moment, I chose survival. I chose her. I chose to keep hope alive. We ate roots and drank from a stream. My body ached. My hands were blistered. But I was still breathing. That had to count for something. We needed to find the others. Find Kamanzi. Find Mugenzi, if he still lived. I know a way back, I said. Through the marshes. It's longer, but safer. She nodded. Then let's go. We walked, the mud pulling at our feet, the birds crying overhead. The trees felt like they were whispering again. But this time, they didn't call me monster. This time, they called me brother. The marsh smelled like rotten secrets. We waded through waist-deep water, pushing past reeds that hissed as they bent. Frogs leapt from underfoot. Mosquitoes clung to our skin like they belonged there. The path was slow, hard, quiet. Interahamwe's lips were cracked. My feet were numb. We didn't speak much, just pointed, nodded, moved. Then we heard the singing. A thin, trembling sound. We froze. There, ahead of us, hidden between 2 trees, stood a boy, barefoot, his shirt torn, eyes glassy. He was maybe 7. He sang softly to himself as he poked the water with a stick. Interahamwe stepped forward gently. Hey, she said softly. What's your name? The boy blinked at her. Then whispered, Kazi. Where's your family, Kazi? He looked behind him. Gone, he said. I moved closer. Did anyone else survive? He nodded, slowly. Auntie. But they took her away. Men with red bands. My stomach dropped. Interahamwe. Interahamwe knelt beside him. You're safe now. We'll protect you. Kazi stared at her. You smell like smoke. She smiled a little. Because we've been walking through fire. He looked at me next. Are you a killer? The words landed like a punch. I opened my mouth to lie, but I couldn't. "Yes," I said, "but I don't want to be anymore." The boy thought for a moment. Then he took my hand. It was small, warm, real. We moved again. 3 of us now. Later that night, after we made camp by a dry patch of land, Kazi curled up beside Nyirahabiniza and fell asleep. She ran her fingers through his tangled hair. I stared into the fire. And I knew, if I ever found Mugenzi again, I would fall to my knees and beg for forgiveness. But first, we had to survive what was still coming. We reached the edge of the marsh 2 days later. On the last morning, we heard something, drums. Far away, slow, rhythmic, warning drums. Nyirahabiniza stiffened. "That's not good." I recognized them too. Papa used to say that when drums echoed like that, it meant trouble was near. Raiders, soldiers, or worse. We ducked under vines and climbed a hill overlooking the village of Karangi. It was still standing, roofs intact, smoke rising from cook fires. But it felt wrong. There were no children laughing, no goats bleating, just silence. And the drums. We waited until nightfall, then crept down toward the edge of the village. I found a woman digging alone near a hut. Her back was bent, but she moved with quiet speed, like she didn't want to be seen. I called out softly, "Mama?" She turned quickly, startled. Her eyes widened. Then, they filled with tears. "Gisa?" It was Aunt Keza, my mother's youngest sister. She dropped her hoe and ran to me, wrapping me in her arms. "I thought you were dead," she whispered. "I almost was," I said. "Where's Mugenzi?" Her face changed. She looked away. "Tell me," I said, gripping her arm. "Please." She hesitated, then said, "He's alive. But taken. They came 2 nights ago. Searching for boys. Took him east, toward the old church at Nyirahabiniza." I fell to my knees. He was alive. But not safe. Nyirahabiniza crouched beside me. "Then we know where to go." I nodded, shaking. Before we left, Aunt Keza slipped me a cloth bundle. Inside was dried cassava, roasted maize, and a small wooden cross Mama used to wear. I held it tight. The road to Nyirahabiniza would be dangerous. But I would walk it barefoot through fire if it meant finding my brother again. The road to Nyirahabiniza was a wound stretching across the hills. We moved at dawn, the sky a sickly gray. Clouds hung low, pregnant with rain that never came. Each step felt heavier than the last, like the earth wanted to swallow us before we reached our destination. Kazi walked between me and Nyirahabiniza. He didn't speak much now. Just held the stick he called Inyundo, pretending it was a spear. I envied his imagination. Nyirahabiniza was 2 days away. We saw signs before we arrived. Ashes where huts had stood, spears driven into termite hills, and chickens wandering like ghosts through empty fields. By the second night, we stopped under a thicket of wild banana trees, while Nyirahabiniza lit a small fire. Kazi curled up beside me. "Do you think your brother will remember you?" he asked. I stared into the flames. "I hope so. What if he's changed?" "I have," I whispered. Nyirahabiniza said nothing, just handed me half a roasted cassava. Then we heard it, footsteps. Not animal, human. We put out the fire with our hands, crouching low. The steps came closer. Then a voice. Soft. Female. "Gisa?" It wasn't a ghost. It was Amini. He looked thinner, his hair shorn, eyes sunken, but it was him. I stood frozen. He reached for my face. "I thought you were dead." "So did I." He nodded toward the east. "They've turned the church into a prison. The ones they capture, they don't come out. Your brother's there. I saw him 2 days ago." My legs nearly gave out. He looked at Nyirahabiniza. "You trust her?" "With my life." Amini smiled faintly. "Then we have a chance. But we must move fast, before they take the boys away again." I looked at him. "You're coming with us?" "I've come too far not to." And just like that, we were 4, marching toward the lion's den. Nyirahabiniza stood like a wound in the belly of Rwanda. The old stone church, once white, now stained brown with time and smoke, sat on a hill surrounded by thorns. The bell tower had collapsed. Its doors chained shut. It was no longer a place of prayer. It was a place of shadows. We crouched behind a collapsed fence, staring at the building from afar. "There are guards at the back," Amani whispered. 3, sometimes 4. They rotate every few hours. Any inside? I asked. Yes, but fewer at night. Interahamwe watched the hill with sharp eyes. We need a distraction. I'll be the distraction, I said. No, he snapped. They'll kill you. I looked at Kazi. Then it's me or him. The boy didn't flinch. Amani reached into his satchel and pulled out a red scarf. Like this. Toss it near the maize store. The smoke will draw them. I nodded. At midnight, we moved. Kazi stayed hidden with Interahamwe behind a shed. Amani and I crept through the weeds. I lit the scarf and flung it toward the storehouse. Flames danced. Smoke billowed. Shouts rang out. 3 guards ran toward the fire. I made my way to the church's back door, wooden, rotting. Amani tossed me a knife. I wedged it into the lock and twisted. Click. The door creaked open. Inside, it smelled of sweat, blood, and urine. Rows of boys lay on the floor, chained in pairs. I searched frantically. Then I saw him. Mugenzi. His head was shaved. His face bruised. But it was him. He looked up. Saw me. Gisa? I fell to my knees. I came for you, I whispered. He tried to smile. But behind me, I heard a voice. Too late. I turned. Bosco. Bosco stood in the doorway, his face half shadowed by the fire outside. His boots crunched over broken glass as he stepped forward. Rifle slung low like a sleeping beast. So this is where you've been hiding, he said, voice calm. Writing in your little book. Playing rescuer now? I stood up slowly, placing myself between him and Mugenzi. I'm done following your orders, I said. Bosco chuckled. You think that makes you better than me? No, I whispered. It makes me human again. He raised his rifle. Then die with the roaches you love so much. A loud crack. But it wasn't his rifle. Interahamwe stood in the doorway behind him, a machete dripping red. Bosco dropped to his knees, then fell. Amani appeared next, panting, eyes wild. The fire's spreading. The others are coming back. We need to go, now. We ran. Amani grabbed a piece of metal and smashed the chains holding the boys. One by one, they stood, confused, trembling. Some too weak to walk. I lifted Mugenzi. Kazi helped a smaller boy. Outside, the flames had reached the maize store. Gunshots rang from the western hill. But we didn't look back. We fled into the valley. A trail of rescued boys behind us, silent shadows in the night. By dawn, we reached a thicket of trees. Safe for now. Mugenzi lay under a jacaranda tree, his fingers curled around mine. You came back, he said. I never stopped being your brother. He closed his eyes. Amani rested his head on my shoulder. Interahamwe sat near the fire, sharpening her blade. And I pulled out my journal. Blood, smoke, sorrow. It had all filled these pages. But now, there was something else. Hope. Today, I write not as a killer, but as a witness, because the world must remember. Not just what we did, but what we chose to undo. Even monsters can turn back. Even lost boys can find their way home.
And that's where today's journey ends. A story that began in peace, stumbled through pain, and taught us the value of humanity even in the darkest times. If this touched your heart, don't just scroll away. Show your love by hitting the like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment below with one powerful lesson you've learned from this story. And of course, don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you never miss another story that speaks to the soul. This is Olady Story World, where African stories live, breathe, and inspire. Subscribe today and let's keep telling our stories together. Kindly subscribe, like, comment as I continue this story. As I continue the story, kindly subscribe, like, and comment. As I continue the story, please subscribe to Olady Story World, like and comment.